All right, here we go. Bricc Baby, welcome to Vlad TV.
Yo.
Long time coming.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Special day for me, man.
That's what's up, man. You know, I've been seeing you on No Jumper over and over again. And one day I was like, wait a minute, how come I haven't interviewed Bricc Baby? So I hit up Adam. I think he'd be down to do it. He's like, oh, hell yeah.
Definitely. Big fan.
Thank you.
Always followed your crowd. I mean, you have no choice but to be a Vlad fan. Some of the best hip-hop content that's ever hit the streets, so
Thank you.
Blessed to be here.
Thank you.
Honored.
And congrats on really kind of finding your space in media, which is not easy to do.
At all.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're saying that I found my space because I'm still scrambling, so I'm making it look good.
Yeah.
I'm coming from yelling in my phone or Instagram going viral to like, okay, you got to have substance in your conversation now. You got to have topics. You can't get off topic. No interrupting. Like, I'm all right, cool. But I'm here.
That's what it is. All right, first time here. Let's start at the beginning. So you grew up in South Central?
Yes, I did. I grew up like split between the Crenshaw and Jefferson area and the Crenshaw and Slauson area.
Okay, and your family were all hustlers?
For sure.
Okay, so do you know kind of where it started originally?
Just, I guess, as far as where they started hustling or like as far back as I can remember.
Well, no, in terms of like the gang thing, you know, because Crippin' obviously originated in that area.
Yeah.
So were they always like gang related or?
My family, not, my mom and them is hustlers. They not gang related.
Okay.
So my mom was born in 58. So, my bad, Mom. Don't beat me up. So, but my mom was born in 58. So, gangbanging started in the 1960s a little bit, but everybody wasn't down with the gangbang bully. And a lot of people looked at it as like loser time. You know what I'm saying? My mom and them, they come strictly from like church households, that the violent stuff, but they also come from poverty. So, they had to find a way out. I want to say my mom started with fraud and then bumped it up. Like fresh out of high school, I feel like she started with fraud. Not boosting, but fraud, and it led to her going out of town and starting her journey.
Okay. What about your dad?
My dad, I feel like my dad was a hustler from day one. All his stories just come from... He's from, like, the Vermont Square area. I guess when the Slauson Boys and all that came about, he was around for that. But they always been hustling, like my uncles, all my dad's friends and stuff. They had the Brett Mitchell Chevrolet in Compton at one point, and that was my family's car dealership. And they shut it down. They were the youngest black car dealership owners. They shut it down because of, I want to say tax evasion. I think they was letting the dope boys come through and cash out without writing the IRS and stuff.
Okay. And you talked about how a couple of your aunts were actually addicted to crack.
Yeah.
You actually got to see that firsthand?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So it was like half my family was hustlers and half my family was users. And then some of them was hustlers and users. But yeah, I grew up it was like a nice crack house, but like, it was wild at my grandma's house. Like, you know what I'm saying? My grandma didn't do drugs. My grandpa did. He did drugs with his kid.
Wow.
But I mean, like in the late 80s and early 90s, I don't know, drugs with like the crack took over. I don't even think the people were in their body. I think it was just like crack rock. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like my grandpa, once the drugs left, like once he stopped doing drugs, he started back acting like a grandfather. You get what I'm saying? But like, if y'all all indulging in the same thing and it's in the house, I guess everybody gets out. It's just like weed now. I guess crack rock wasn't regulated in the 80s. Then when it started being frowned down on, some people couldn't kick the habit. So it was recreational, I feel like. But yeah, I used to have to go get my aunties out of crack houses, all type of stuff. Like one day, my auntie, we was all looking for my auntie. She was gone for like 10 days. And me and her daughter just decided we about to ride our bikes over there. We know where she at. We about to just go over there and tell them like, she got to come out that house. So we all go over there. We like maybe 7, 8. I know I was like 7, and we go and knock on the door. We talking to the dope man like, bitch ass nigga, get my auntie out the house, you motherfucker. Like, and they looking at little kids, and she like, y'all go. Like, we ain't going nowhere. We start throwing rocks at the house and stuff, and she came running out. We got her back to the house and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have crack addicts in my family, and it's just a bad way to be.
Yeah.
Especially when you have kids.
Yeah, because, yeah. That shit is like controlling.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah.
So, you're growing up in South Central, and cripping is becoming a serious thing out there. Like, at what point did you join?
I feel like I was a Crip at like 8 years old. I ain't had no other choice, like, when it came to gangbanging. I feel like Snoop and the dog pound wave was definitely present in my upbringing, like, even from home. Like, I grew up in 2 Crip hoods. My dad had a spot, had like he lived there, but it was like a, live, work, play. It was a dope spot too. But we was in the jungles. I don't know if you hip to where the jungles is, and to the people, it's Baldwin Village, like L.A., in between the Crenshaw. It sits on the Crenshaw corridor also, but from training day.
It's like Englewood, right?
It's before Englewood.
Okay.
It's like L.A. It's like right over the hill from Englewood.
So it's close to Englewood.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but so I do have like a lot of friends that are affiliates over there, but even when I was over there, I got like a gang of blood friends that I grew up with too, because just being at my dad's house and like ever since 9 years old, they was like, you gonna be a Crip. You not gonna be from over here. Like, yeah, I'm not. So probably like 10 years old is my first time tagging on the wall, and we started some shit called Englewood, California Crip. Me and my best friend, Envelope, he from West Boulevard now, and his uncle had just came home from like a 10-year bid. So he like big as Tookie, got the blue rag, he boy with the blue rag around his neck every morning in the backyard, pumping iron and stuff. Like, this is like our action figure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we looking up to Uncle Mike. Rest in peace, Uncle Mike, Big M. We looking up to him. So we go home, we like, we gonna be from Englewood, California Crip. So we get sidewalk chalk, go to school the next day with the sidewalk chalk. We hitting up with the sidewalk chalk ICC. And I feel like from there, my cousins and stuff, from there I joined a clique called CIP, and it was Completely Irresistible Players.
Okay.
So, but we was in the West Boulevard area, and as we start getting older, like from 10 to 12, not like it was just a big jump, but like from 10 to 12, we inherited beef from the Blackstones. Damn near everybody that the West Boulevards was beefing with, we end up beefing with, and more, because we were at different schools. So we was like at West LA beefing and stuff, and the police end up documenting this in the gang files as Crips in Progress. CIP. So they changed it from Completely Irresistible Players to Crips in Progress because we was getting into so much shit in the area. So that was really my introduction. And when Big Money, Uncle Mike, found out we was from a clique, my best friend was never from a clique because that's his real uncle. So he was always, after ICC, it was just West Boulevard for him. You know what I mean? He found out we all was from this clique. And he came over there tripping one day. He like, y'all niggas gonna be from the hood. There ain't no extra hoods inside the hood. Nigga, all y'all gonna turn the hood. And he got into it with one of my closest homies and smacked the shit out of him. Like, he was bullying. Like, this is a big buff grown man. He came over there tripping on this one day. Like, I ain't having it. Like, y'all either gonna turn West Boulevard today or this shit over. So we stood our ground though. Like, I don't want to tell the whole story, but the homie ended up having to go to the hospital with a broken arm or something like that. We stood our ground though, my big uncle, right? So after that, I'm like, I ain't finna be from West Boulevard because he trying to make me. I was rebellious back then. So I started hanging with the Harlem 30s at like 12. And we still was from CIP. It was like, and the 30s at the time was beefing with the Rollin 40s. So the 40s and 60s was the same thing, and all my other cousins is like, my mom always had a house nearby Slauson, and all my cousins lived on Slauson. So I think it was like one too many events with me in the 40s, and I wasn't really put on to the 30s yet. And my cousin, like, either you get put on and you handle your business and you stay over there, because I used to call my it's second nature, like, hey, cuz I'm in the mix, like shit, come get me. Like, ain't no come help me, like I just did this. Like I don't got no ride though, I'm on the bus. Like, they like, man, like, who you do it to? And I'm like, man, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna talk too much, but you know what I'm saying, they like, you can't keep bumping heads with the 40s like that and think that we gonna participate. And like, where the rest of your family at over here in the Harlems? And then they just start dawning on me like, you right, I don't got no backbone over here, I ain't tripping. But you know what I'm saying, I end up getting put on 60s like my 14th summer.
Okay, you were 14.
Yeah, but I always was affiliated. Like, in between ICC and all that, like, I always banged Rollin 60s. Like, we was hood out, but we'd just say whatever hood we wanted to say when we was 10 years old. But I've always been a Crip.
Okay, you jumped in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've heard different versions of this situation. Sometimes it's an easy situation, or sometimes people get really hurt.
All right, I'm gonna tell you. There be some dudes, right, that they family. They run the hood, got a big family from the hood, and they born into the hood. Like, you get what I'm saying? I feel like that kind of hinders somebody's gangbang career in the streets, because it's not DIY. You get what I'm saying? You ain't doing it yourself. Like, me, I'm first generation, and I'm the only generation. I don't plan on my sons and them gangbanging. But, like, I'm first generation, so when I hopped off the porch, you really gotta hit those brick walls yourself. You got people telling you, hey, don't do this, don't do that, but it's like, well, your family from the hood is like, oh yeah, my son ain't doing that. Oh yeah, he can't do that. You get what I'm saying? So it hinders that walk-on stuff. It hinders how certain homies in the hood. It's certain people that was raised in the hood that really got put on and really do their stuff, but like, it'd be like somebody like me or somebody that was raised in the hood really doing their stuff, and you see like they get to cut corners and you kind of like stop fucking with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you're like, nah, he don't got to do what we got to do. We ain't messing with him. So yeah, I got jumped on. It's better to get jumped on, because when it come down to politicking, it's like, nigga, you never got your put on. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's just go ahead and get that out the way off the rip. But
okay.
Yeah.
So now you're a Rollin 60s official.
For sure.
Did you know Big U during that time?
Big U he did that stretch when I first got
you're right.
put on.
Yeah, he was locked up for a while.
I met Big U in like 07, 08.
Later on.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your original street name?
My original street name?
Yeah.
When I first got put on?
Yeah.
It was Baby Wild Bill.
Baby Wild Bill.
Yeah, I was Wild Bill from the Overhills. Yep, I got put on at 14. F-Dog was my big homie. My big homie F-Dog. I want to say Lil F. Oh, my bad, F. But it's either Big F or Lil F. I think he Lil F-Dog, though. But that was my big homie. I got put on. I was supposed to, this the funny part. I was supposed to be from 10th Avenue. I was supposed to be from down the hill. I lived on Overhill, but I always, I had this one homie named S-Dome that loved me to death. And he, once he seen that I wasn't from Harlem no more, he like, man, you gonna be Baby S-Dome, you gonna be Baby S-Dome. But what he used to do, it was like how I said with those kids that was protected. What he used to do is, when it's time for me to get put on and fight, like, my little homie ain't doing that. Like, we ain't doing that, da-da-da. And he used to try to speak up for me. And so I'm like, I gotta get put on. You know what I'm saying? I'm just living like that. Like, I can't keep taking this pass like that. So, but I'm walking down the hill one day, and Hillbilly pull up on me, and my boy Izzy was supposed to get put on that day. He did, but then he ended up being from East Coast. They pull up on me, and me and Izzy were in high school together, so he told on me to the dude that was driving the car, like, you know him? Like, he ain't really from 60s yet. I got a big S hat on. I'm walking down Slauson. I'm headed from Overhill to, like, Crenshaw. And they pull up like, where you from? And I laugh at them niggas like, man, like, you know where I'm from. Nigga, like, you know, I was ready for anything at that time. And I laugh like, man, y'all know where I'm from. And he'll be like, what? Like, nigga, you ain't got to put on my hood. Like, I'm like, man, we could go do that right now. Like, what did you talk about? Like, because I guess his whole angle now being older was like him to rile me up to see if I was really like that. And they took me down to the block, long story short. Got quoted on right there, and I ended up Wild Bill. Then the fact that Hillbilly put me on, he wanted me to be Billy Badass. So I changed my name to Billy Badass within the first 3 months from the hood.